So far, our competitors have faced a whole host of challenges, from an active shooter, a hostage situation, crazed knife attackers, verbally de-escalating aggressive individuals in a variety of settings, situational awareness drills, and much, much more. But today, they will be facing off against one another in head-to-head battles. No verbal de-escalation, no scenarios, just 20 seconds of fighting to survive. Before our competitors fight one another, they'll be given 2 opportunities to gain additional points. The first challenge will test their situational awareness skills. Situational awareness is a critical skill that's quite often overlooked. It is not just about looking around, it's about knowing what to look for and why. It's about seeing, not just looking. Tuning in to what may prevent a problem, what could be of assistance, and what is of interest. In this drill, contestants will analyse video footage from a train station. They'll be tasked with identifying anything suspicious, spotting potential threats, and recognising individuals who may be vulnerable based on their behaviour. It's also about profiling and any other anomalies that may present themselves.
Someone at the back here, looks like he's got some sort of facial cover. This guy here would be a good option to go for. In a disadvantaged position, I suppose you could say, kneeling down on one knee. Her handbag would be something that I would be going for. She's on the phone, she's distracted.
I'm only seeing some exits. I was looking for ways in, ways out.
Footy over, and I could be wrong there. Someone on the ATM.
I see someone looking in this direction of concern. Looks like he's got a cup in the side of his pocket for some reason.
At the conclusion of this drill, Mitch was in front by a large margin. Second was Adrian. In third place was Nikola, gaining 1 point. The next challenge will put self-defense tools to the test. Items such as kubatans, tactical pens, torches, and keychain weapons. These tools are often marketed with bold claims, promising to act as equalizers or force multipliers in dangerous situations. But how effective are they really? This drill is pretty straightforward. While Jared throws punches, each competitor must try and land a simulated eye strike using a marker that represents one of these tools. The eyes are stickers placed on the outside of the helmet. To score a point, they must make direct contact and leave a mark on the eye stickers. Simple in theory, but let's see how they do whilst under pressure.
Close. It was close. Not quite there. Has to be on there. Good go. Close? No, not quite.
Only 2 of the competitors were successful out of the group, both Mitch and Adrian gaining a point apiece.
I want to know your opinion of how you feel it assisted you.
I mean, look, a lot of people will say it's an equaliser. By no means is it an equaliser. Like for the assignment, so to speak, I found it more of a distraction. Like if you can shoot a double, take them down, if you can positionally jump in, control. But if you've got this thing that is an implement, it's like, yeah, but I would never bank on relying on it to put him down.
I ended up clinching up and just like trying to scratch his face with it pretty much.
Fine, if I just solely depend myself on that weapon, I think I'm putting myself at a low chance of surviving. You would need obviously other skills to survive that.
I found that instead of it being an equalizer, it was more of disability. You know, I had one hand occupied holding a pen, wasn't allowing me to open my hand up to parry. That hand was solely focused on trying to stab him in a soft spot with that pen.
Yeah, much the same as what the guys have said. I found it a bit of a hindrance. You know, I was copping punches to the head. Any of those punches could have knocked me out. In my opinion, why would you aim for such a small target on someone's face when you can just go for their head with a fist? For me, I felt like it was a disadvantage.
What we witnessed here, even though it's a tiny sample size and it doesn't really account for anything, the only two people that were successful basically put it on in the clinch. If you're in the clinch and you've got hold and you've got them contained, why wouldn't you just use your thumb or something along the same lines? Because then it's a whole lot easier to defend in court. So this thing, as much as they're legal to purchase in Australia, if you use them, you're going to get in trouble for using them. And I guess the moral of the story is don't rely on an inanimate object. Train. If you don't have that delivery system as you all did previously, it wouldn't have looked as good as it did. So to put your faith in something like that, I'm not so sure about.
Finally, it was time for the competitors to face each other in full contact fights. Unfortunately, at this time, there was a heavy downpour of rain. The team then conducted another risk assessment after the rain and deemed that the original plans, all based around automobiles scenarios, could not go ahead for safety reasons.
Guys, it's just too wet. I've done the risk assessment form and I can't see a conceivable way for us to do the plan that we had and try to eliminate the risk, try and mitigate the risk. Because it's so wet and slippery, I just think, the likelihood of someone getting hurt is greater. And it does hurt the show, yes it does, but we've got to put the competitors first. So we're going to scrap the original idea and go to plan B. It's not as good, but it's better to take care of the competitors.
After being taken to the location, they were instructed to gear up and had their vision obstructed to invoke stress, and also so they wouldn't know who the person was that they were about to fight, thus taking away preparation time and strategizing. Competitors would be placed in the backseat of a car, not knowing who they were fighting until the whistle blew and the face coverings were removed. You may be wondering why we are fighting in cars instead of out in the open. There are a number of reasons for that. You can use your imagination to come up with all kinds of car-related scenarios. It is not uncommon for crimes to be committed in a car, be it a carjacking. Quite often we're in taxis and Ubers where we're at our most vulnerable. You've been drinking and you're on your way home and you're isolated in that small space with them. It could also be something extreme like a kidnapping. One of Ted Bundy's victims actually fought her way out of the car and survived. First up was Adrian versus Dylan. Adrian won by a unanimous decision, gaining a point. At this time, it's probably right to point out that this is probably the worst case scenario for Dylan, as he cannot utilise his skill set, and size probably does matter in this environment.
Fuck you!
Next up was Nathan, who won a unanimous decision against Nikola. No big shots were landing, but his positioning and sheer volume of strikes gave him the nod from the judges. Mitch and Adrian, after their memorable fight in the bloodbath, came up against each other again in another fantastic fight. 6 of the judges scored it a draw, but 1 scored it in favour of Mitch. Therefore, Mitch got the nod in this one. Next up was Nikola versus Dylan. Nikola won this unanimously with a barrage of strikes, and he ended up in a dominant position at the conclusion of the fight. Next up was Adrian and Nikola. Adrian managed to beat Nikola again through sheer volume of shots and ending in a dominant position.
All the guys at PTTA, this is all for you. All for the Filipino martial artists. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Fucking hell. Fucking tough fight.
Nathan continued his unbeaten run, this time even with a wardrobe malfunction where the blindfold or the face covering did not manage to get taken off in time, so he had to fight blindfolded and did quite well, defeating Adrian and ending in a dominant position.
That was romantic for a second there. Yeah.
That's okay? Yeah, I'm good. Sorry. Oh.
Now this is a really tough encounter where they both had very good moments. The judges deemed this a split draw, with 3 judges scoring it as a draw. 2 judges voted for Nick because of his elbows and 2 for the early work that Mitch did earlier. So for that very reason, we had to call this one a draw. After we had the opportunity to decompress, we gathered at the fighter house to discuss the final results and find out who had won the challenge. In the end, the winner, by a solid margin, was Adrian. He earned the title by not only fighting well, but utilising other less notable self-defense skills such as de-escalation, awareness, and so forth, gaining the title of Season 1's World of Self-Defense Champion.
Yeah. Very narrow. Very narrow. Very narrow. Congratulations, mate.
Nicely done.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Well, firstly, thank you to all the other contestants. You guys definitely made it very interesting all week. I believe everyone brought something different to the table. And yeah, it was an enjoyable week as well. Mick, thank you for coming over here. You definitely
My pleasure.
You definitely made things interesting for us. Jeff, thank you for putting this all together, because without you, this doesn't happen. And Ben, thank you very much for all the training that you put in. I wouldn't have been here without you guys, so thank you very much. Mitch, thank you for the rivalry that we didn't really speak about, but we knew it was there.
Yeah, King Kong versus Godzilla. All I need to do now is get rid of your telly at home. That goes where your TV used to be, so all your chairs point at it. Yes?
Oh, I'm shocked. I could have sworn that.
That's why we chose the shield.
An umbrella.
I could have sworn you had it in the bag, but yeah, as I said, I think we both knew I'd do something, you'd come back and do it better, or you'd do something, I'd come back and do it. So that was a good one-on-one battle, but honestly, you guys, you've all been good competitors all week, and
Nobody be disappointed. Nobody be disappointed.
I think
This was a self-defense challenge, though, not a fight challenge, and that's what we really wanted to encapsulate on this. The self-defense isn't about fighting only. That's part of it, but it's a small part of it. The bigger part of it is what you do with this, what you do with your brain, the decisions you make, the actions you take, the behaviour you display, the awareness you have, the assessments that you make. That's self-defense. The pressure on the whole time, you get used to the pressure. So we put it on, take it off. Put it on, take it off. You don't get used to that. You know, people who have cancer, people who have cancer and stuff, they've got pain all the time. They learn to live with it. If that pain came and went.
Now, if you'd like to be in season 2 or 3, which we plan on filming at the same time at the end of the year, reach out now. We will have a women's competition and also a mixed one. So we are not necessarily looking for martial artists. However, if you're a martial artist, reach out as well. We would rather have people from all walks of life. So people such as nurses, doctors, teachers, police, fire, IT, people that have different hobbies such as, you could be into HEMA, CrossFit, I don't know, knitting, whatever the case may be. If you feel that you have what it takes, and please note that it's not all about fighting, so you're not necessarily guaranteed to go home bruised and battered. It's about decision making. If you think you have what it takes, reach out to us now.